Thank you, Jesper, so much for sharing your perspectives today on one of the signals that we have identified here for the April day 2023. So Jesper, if you want to start by just telling us a little bit about your background and your current role, please.
Okay, thank you. And thank you very much for having me. And I hope I can contribute a little bit to getting wiser on what this signal is all about. Well, I've been working in the public sector for over 20 years, and 7 years ago I shifted to private sector, first as a consultant on organizations and leadership and so on. And since 2018, I've been working in educational secretariat, and we are working to secure that we have electricians and plumbers and fitters in Denmark, two trades that are crucial to the climate agenda and to the electrification of the society and so forth. So it's a very exciting area to be in these years, also because we are looking into a lack of people choosing that line of work and that kind of education. Although I'm happy to say that on our educations we have a growth, and we have had that for the last 6 years. So that's perfect for us. But we want, of course, more growth.
Yeah, and why is that? What is the background for the ambition of getting even more people with these skills into the employment market?
Well, you can say, and there's been a shift, you can say, in the political agenda over the last 3 to 4 years or so, and the conversation about what we need as a society to make this green transition, transition of our society, and that agenda has speeded up, you can say, after the invasion of Ukraine and the rising of the energy prices last year. But the whole shift away from fossil fuels to electricity and heat pumps and electrical cars and power to X technology and so forth. You can make a lot of plans, and you could put a lot of money in that and make the power to X plans and so forth. And we have a lot of ambition of that in Denmark. Also, these energy islands that we are planning to build that can put the electricians and the plumbers that can put the plants together and make it work, and secure that you also have electricity, green electricity in your home, and it's there all the time. We had a long period of time where there were too few that took the vocational education and turned towards the electricians and the plumbers market. And so we are already behind, you could say, in terms of how many people we actually need to get these things done. And even though we have growth over the last 6 to 8 years, and it's accelerating, luckily, it's not enough to catch up on the decrease, you could say, and a large amount of people that are going to retire from the electrician and the plumber's trade over the coming years. So we have a burning platform in that sense.
Yeah. It's super interesting how you're linking this hand skills or the vocational skills to the green transition and to the future that we are moving into, that we actually very, very dependent on people who can make it work. Exactly. And not just think how it is going to work. Exactly. Yeah, super interesting point.
And in these years, there's a lot of studies being made. Mandamorn and Concito in Denmark are running a large-scale study on the competences that you need in the future to make this transition. And we are, of course, happy and honored to see that in top 3 of skills needed to move forward into a greener future, we have electricians and plumbers. So you can say the ambition and the goal and the meaningfulness of what we are doing is quite obvious, and that's what drives us to work every day.
If I ask you to reflect a bit on this overall signal that we're seeing of a movement from a focus on the head as our main tool to the hands and vocational skills, what are you seeing, like at a more broader societal level?
I think there could be several explanations. I think one is that what I just spoke about is that we are lagging behind already in people with skills that actually can make a change in the real world with putting things together in a different way. So that's one track. The other track, and I think also many of the academia and analysts and consultants are seeing now is over the last couple of months, I think maybe you also can see that in your signals. We have been witnessing a huge development in artificial intelligence and with chat GPT and already new versions of that. So maybe it's more meaningful to find a job or a purpose that combines the head and the hand skills in some way.
Yeah, I think that's important what you're saying there, the combination, because a lot of the very low skilled, like hand or things that we make with hands have already been automated.
Exactly.
So it's the higher level that where you still need, imagination, creativity, innovative skills, but you also need to be able to actually make it and craft it and do it, and not just think about it. Yeah.
Exactly, and if I look into what we are working with in terms of the development of our educational schemes, it's exactly that we are trying to move the level of complexity in our education upwards, because it's not that difficult to put up a lot of cords or pipes and so forth. You can actually find an industrial robot that can do that for you, or you can put unskilled labor to do that for you. But it's at the end of the cords and the pipes. The interesting part is happening where the complexity is, and that's what we are trying to move our educations upwards on qualifications.
Okay, so a lot is definitely happening, and you're seeing this signal in a lot of places. So if we start imagining the future, what it will look like when we're moving more from head to hands, or as you're saying, striking a different balance, what could be areas, scenarios, looking maybe 2 or 5 or 10 years into the future, trying to be quite kind of specific about it?
Well, I think that what you should be, and I also guess that it will sort of be relevant for all kinds of jobs and skills. Of course, there will be, and we have all read the articles about 300 million jobs will be disappearing because of chat GPT and so forth. Maybe not disappearing, but at least changing to something else. And you have to find out what are the unique opportunities for what we can do as humans in cooperation with the artificial intelligence or the robots or whatever, or what have we. And I think what we should maybe think a little bit more about is what is it that makes us as humans unique, and that is that we can both think on a high complex level and do something with our hands to make it real afterwards, if you can say in that way. So it's utterly important, I think, that you sort of lift the qualification level on how to think and how to analyze and how to be innovative, and also that you have the ability to picture how to make it into reality afterwards, and also the combination of different techniques and technologies and data and everything that you can imagine putting things together in a way that hasn't been done before. That is what we can do as humans, that a robot or an artificial intelligence can do without us telling them what to do. So that's the head and hands combination, I think, if when we look into the future. And also a crucial part, I think, in my personal view, I think that are unique for us as humans is that that's our ability to build relations, and in combination with these relations as social humans, is that we are super together to think new ideas, and new ways of living, or new ways of working, or new ways of everything, when we are people together, and that's hard for a computer to do, but it's easy for a human to do.
Yeah, well, it should be easy, but still we tend to work in ways that we've done for almost centuries. What would you say?
Exactly, and that should be that should be a leader's first priority. That is to secure that your organization is constantly working in new ways, or thinking of ways to work in a different way than you did yesterday.
And how could you think about integrating the vocational work, or the doing part in our organizations more?
Well, I think again, using one of the things that I've been looking into is how can in this little organization I'm a part of right now, we are only 20 people in my organization. And even a little organization as mine, we are of course looking into what can AI do for us? How can we give our customers a better service? How can we analyze things that we couldn't analyze before because we don't have the budget to hire competencies to that particular analysis, but maybe a computer can do it for us, or some of the repeated tasks that we have in our organization that has shown to be difficult to digitalize. Maybe artificial intelligence can do that for us, and save us some time, so we can use the time that we have for what we are good at, and what we are unique at. And it is also very satisfying, I should think, for both us as leaders, but also for my employees, that we can think of new ways of doing things, but we can also carry it out in the real world and make it work out there. So a lot more time freed by automated processes or in artificial intelligence answering questions than we can use instead to be out in the real world, talking with real people, and securing that our new ideas or products or educations or whatever are implemented and used for something meaningful out there. That would be nice. A little less office time and more time out in the real world.
Yeah. And I guess there will also be a need for new ways of onboarding or integrating people coming with different skills. So if you're a typical head type of organization, and you want to explore this more and start hiring people with different skills because you believe in this signal and this trend, how to go about that?
Well, I am already in an organization that does that. I have, of course, electricians hired and plumbers hired in my organization, because it's extremely important for us that we know what we are talking about. So when we are developing our educations, of course, I need to have someone who knows some practical things about what are the new technologies, what can you use them for, what difficulty level are we talking about, how do we design things, where are the businesses moving, are we updated, and are we education to the future and not the past, and so forth. So I already have people with primarily vocational skills in my staff, and also academics and analytics well, what's the trick? The trick is exactly what I mentioned before. It's having an emphasis on the social and the work relationships and securing that they are talking together, they are working together in teams and in groups in all different combinations. Because we are not bigger than we are, that everybody has somewhat a feeling of what we are working with and what are the crucial agendas right now, and have an open environment where you are rewarded if you pitch in instead of pitching out, if you could say that in that way. So when you know that some of your colleagues are working on some issue and they have trouble solving that, you are rewarded when you sort of pitch in and say, well, maybe I can help with that, even though I don't exactly know something about the issue in its core, but I know something about the things around it. So that could maybe help you solve the problem. So that's how we are trying to work with it here.
So it's a different perspective on diversity in a way, like diversity of skills that we might need to
but that's also diversity.
More. It is definitely. It's an element of it that maybe sometimes we forget about when we talk about diversity. If you were to give a few pieces of advice to listeners who would be interested in exploring this signal, so bringing in more vocational skills into their workplace, what would be a great place to start?
Well, I think, first of all, I think you should stay curious on new technologies and, of course, also some of the trends in artificial intelligence, and try to understand the potential that's in these technologies, and sort of stay on top in trying to implement, at least on a try it out basis, to find out if it works and how it works and what can you use it for. That's one thing, but also sort of spread it out in your organization, so it's not a management leadership task, but it's everybody's task to find out what is this and how can I use it in my daily work, so I can free time to something else to do in a different way, or do more of what we already know works, and what are special for us. That what we are really good at is that we are good at talking to each other and talking to our customers and our partners and the people that we work with. And get out in the real world and find out what are the problems at our customers or partners, and find out how to solve them in a good way.
Yeah.
So I think that would be it.
From your position, I guess you have some peers who do what you do, just in other vocational areas.
Yeah.
Do you have a forum or somewhere where you discuss, and are they seeing some of the same signals and trends for being a carpenter or whatever other vocations that we could talk about?
I think it's an agenda that goes pretty much with every of my peers. This discussion. Some Some have it harder than we have. They have no growth at all, and even a decrease on their educations. And you can also read about that in the newspapers every day, that we are really on a course of catastrophe if we don't solve, especially on the caring educations and the hospitals and so forth. There's a huge problem over there, but I think we all have that problem, and of course what we are talking about is what is working. How do we develop our educations in a way so it's attractive for both the younger generation, but also the younger generations, but also the elder generations. It's never too late to be a good electrician, for example. That also applies to the other education. So that's one of the things that we are talking about, is how to stay relevant and with high quality, because I believe that that is the key to recruit more people into this world we are in, is that we can show them that we offer high quality education, and the benefit is when you are through with your 4 years of education, you're almost guaranteed a job with a very good pay. So. No reason not to go that way.
That's not to like. Absolutely. How about if you run a company, or you're a leader in a company, or in the people department, and you think it would be interesting if more of our people could get some of these skills? What could be a scenario for the future where your kind of extracurricular education, or the education you take while you work, integrated more of these kinds of skills?
I can give one example from my world, is that some of the highest paid electricians that we can see, that they are the ones who took an education as an electrician and then took an engineering education afterwards.
But could you imagine it the other way around?
Yes, and I guess there will also be examples of that in some way. So that you educate yourself to have both skills. I think that would be an extremely valuable qualification to have also in the future.
Perfect. Well, I think that would be a good place to wrap it up. So thank you, Jesper. It's been super interesting talking to you, and let's see what the future brings.
Exactly. You never know.
You never know.
That's one small step